Hello, welcome to Voice of Our Own. I'm Allison Kinnear. This is Living and Learning. Every Wednesday at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, I jump onto Facebook Live and give a little talk about living and learning. Today, we are talking about traditions. I'm kind of going on the theme of boundaries for the holidays. I launched the program this week. I've got a nice little group of people, and we are going on that journey. And one of the realizations that I had is that now is a great time to be thinking about traditions, because as the holiday season approaches us, traditions are something that we all are going to have to confront at some point, and the sooner the better. So before we talk about traditions and what to do about it, I want to share a little story, a parable that I've heard years and years and years ago. And it goes something like this. There's a little girl, she comes home, she sees her mother's making a pot roast. Her mother cuts the ends off the cut of meat and begins to cook it. And this little girl has seen her mom do this again and again. And she asked, "Mom, why do you cut the ends of the meat off?" And the mom said, I don't really know. Go, you might want to ask your grandmother. And so the little girl contacts her grandmother and asks her grandmother. And the grandmother said, I don't know. That's the way my mother did it, is you just cut the ends of the meat off. And the little girl said, "Well, why?" And the grandmother said, "I don't know. That's just the way she always did it." And then she said, great grandma's still alive. You can go ask her. And so the little girl asked her great grandmother, "Tell me why did you cut the meat off either ends of the pot roast?" And the great grandmother explained, when I was younger, I had a very small oven, and the only way I could get the pot roast to fit was to cut the ends off of it. And that's why I cut the ends off the pot roast. This is how traditions work, is that there are some traditions that we cherish and we value, and they bring magic and memory, and they spark something beautiful inside of us. And there are some traditions that are pot roast traditions that no longer, maybe they meant something back in the day, but they no longer carry meaning or value now. And we just feel obligated to carry them forward. So this season, as this is a time of ritual, this is a time of tradition, and there are some traditions that I'm not going on an anti-tradition platform at all. I think traditions and ritual is so powerful and so important. And there are some pot roast traditions that maybe we've outgrown, that we don't need anymore, that we're just doing for the sake of doing it. And we're doing it out of obligation, or we're doing it just because that's the way it's always been done. And it no longer brings anyone any kind of joy. It's just what we do because it's what we do. So this is a great time before a lot of our holiday traditions really begin, around Halloween, around Thanksgiving, around Christmas, around Hanukkah, around Kwanzaa, around whatever, Diwali. What are the traditions? What are the rituals that bring you that joy? And I think about Marie Kondo, who has that, the life-changing magic of tidying up. She talks about, with each article of clothing or each object, you pick it up and you hold it and you see if it sparks joy. And I invite you to metaphorically take a look at your traditions. See what are the ones that spark joy for you. What are the ones that light you up? What are the ones that light your family up? And what are the ones that you seem to be doing just because you're doing it? Just because that's the way it's always been done. Because the fact of the matter is we grow, we change, we evolve. We're always kind of shifting in our lives. And so what used to spark joy for us may not any longer. My mom used to put up a really big tree with tons of ornaments, and she did that for a while, even after we had long since been out of the house. And then eventually she realized, she really wasn't liking this tradition. And she had an opportunity to use a different kind of tree. And now her trees just only bring her joy. She only kept the ornaments that she loved. And she either let us kids take the rest, or she doesn't hang them up. These are things that we can do to kind of look at, okay, do I like to decorate like I used to like to decorate? What do I like about it? What don't I like about it? Because at some point in our lives, we may not want to climb on the ladder and put up the lights. We may not want to make a big fuss about some of the decorations or about some of the festivities. But there might be things that we do really love and cherish. We might really love and cherish getting together with our family, having an intimate moment together. We might really cherish baking. We might really cherish trying out new recipes. The thing is that everybody's tradition, everything that brings us a little closer to that magic, a little closer to the purpose behind the holiday, it's important to take a look and just lead with curiosity. Is this a tradition that brings us joy? Or is this a pot roast tradition where we're just cutting off the ends because that's the way it's always been done? So think about that. It's coming up to Halloween time. And when we first moved here to this neighborhood, somebody booed us. They put a little gift bag of like toys and candy on our front porch. And this is something we all look forward to every year. It's like, ooh, are we going to get booed? Who are we going to boo? And it's a fun tradition. And when we can free ourselves up, sometimes new traditions come to us. And we can see, does this really delight us? And right now it does, but maybe 5 years from now it won't. And we have to be able to look at, sometimes when those traditions change, it can bring up a lot of sadness. It can bring up a lot of grief and loss because our kids are growing, because life has changed so much, because there's something about the nature of the holiday that's shifted. And so, part of what we can do is if we find that we have a tradition that feels hollow, that's no longer bringing us joy, maybe it's only bringing us resentment because nobody's enjoying it like how you want them to enjoy it, then that might be an opportunity to look and get curious. Do you have any grief? Is there any loss? Is there any sadness around that phase of life has ended and now a new phase has begun? So that's a way that we can make sure that we're actually doing our work of acknowledging the emotions that might be underneath, while also being able to move on and still find the joy, find those traditions that still really light you up, whether other people are enjoying themselves or not. So that's what I leave you with today. Take a look, KonMari your traditions, see what you love, see what needs to be thrown out or changed or adjusted or grieved over. And it's a good thing to do it now so that you're not trying to do all the hustle and bustle and wonder, okay, wait, what am I doing this year? So take stock now. And hello, Amanda. Hello, Anna. It's so good. And hello to the third person that's on here who I don't know. I hope this is helpful to you. I will not be here next Wednesday. I'm speaking at Microsoft once again. I believe this is my last time speaking at Microsoft this calendar year before all of the hustle and bustle begins, but I'm speaking there next Wednesday. So I will not be on Facebook Live next week, but you'll see me the week after. I wish you a wonderful week of living and learning, and I will see you in 2 weeks. All right, take care. Bye-bye.